King Alfonso's Book of Games, God and Board Games in the Middle Ages. On this episode of Board Game Faith, the bi-weekly podcast exploring the intersection of board games, religion, and spirituality. My name is Daniel Hilty.
And my name is Kevin Taylor.
And we are so glad to have you joining us for this episode. Thank you so much for pressing the button to join us on a kind of a different episode than we have done before, a little bit more historical episode, but one I'm excited about digging into. But first, Kevin, it's great to see you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. It's an optimistic time of the year, I think. Right?
Yeah.
We're almost to February. It's like, yeah. I don't know about the weather there, but here it's not quite as bitter, and of course it's never as bitter here, I think, as Missouri. We've got those mountains breaking up the cold weather. But I think it's gonna be a good year. Feeling good.
Good. The world is turning towards spring, at least in our corner of the world.
Yes,
and,
we are being geocentric. It's not geocentric. That'd be planet focused. We are being American centric, but got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and probably. I mean, most of our listeners, wherever they are, can probably relate to that feeling of the year.
Did you see the New Zealand Prime Minister stepping down?
I did see that. We have a few listeners in New Zealand. Yeah. I'm sorry I interrupted you. What were you saying about that?
That's all.
Okay.
I was just showing that I do read the news.
That's
But because they use
you.
the metric in New Zealand, she's stepping down in the year 2024 and a half, I think.
I think
it's not the same time zones.
That is the best that my American understanding can grapple with. I think according to the Gregorian / New Zealand calendar or American calendar, I think that's right. And we're going to be just in time for Thanksgiving next month. So
speaking of joke, New Zealand, I know. Yeah. Speaking of New Zealand, Garfield Games.
Yeah, exactly. So, our listeners who've been listening for a while know that we like to often start our episodes, not every episode, with a little game or a skit where we kind of smash together different stuff. Today, we're going to be smashing together a little skit with a twist that we'll be sharing you in a moment. And as we often do, a randomly selected game from the top 200 of BoardGameGeek.com, which is the definitive website. I think that's probably most people
besides
agree
our
on
website is
on board
definitive.
games. Besides our website, that's right, where we say board games are cool. And so today the randomizer picked number 152 on Board Game Geek, the 152nd most popular game ever, or best game ever according to Board Game Geek, which is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. And Kevin, I've never played this, but you have. You're such a great Garfield Games fan. Can you tell us a little bit about this game for me and others who don't know about it?
So they created a trilogy of games set in the medieval period, and this is my personal favorite. Now, if you're reading around, people have different opinions about their favorites. So there's paladins, architects, and viscounts. I like viscounts. I just think it's really cool.
Nice.
And in this game, it's got the rondelle system. So you're going to go around, and based on where you land, you can take certain actions.
Yeah.
And that's determined by the card you play, gives you the value of which you move. But leave it to Garfield. They've also actually got 2 wheels in it, so you can go inner ring and go up into the castle that's in the middle, or you can go outer and build buildings.
Oh, so clever.
So you've got that going on. You've got a little card drafting, and then when you play a card, it's almost like a conveyor belt system that certain cards will trigger, and then when they fall off the conveyor belt and go into your discard, certain things will happen as well.
That sounds so cool.
It's very cool. So like in Arc Nova, you kind of pick what you want to play. So that's got what unofficially we could call a conveyor belt type thing, where certain things happen in certain locations and then they kind of drop off.
Yeah.
And so it's got a bit of that mechanic. going as well. And I think Viscounts predates Arc Nova. I'm sure various
I
games
think it
have
does.
played with it. But yeah, so you've got those sort of two jarring things going on of conveyor belt actions, and you've got some set collection, card choosing, and then you've got this rondel action. And you win by victory points, so it's a Euro game.
That sounds fantastic. Now I want to go get Viscounts of the... No dice. I want to go get Viscounts of the West Kingdom. No, that sounds
good,
awesome.
and it's not expensive. What I think I like about their games is none of them are I mean, for the game you get, it's a great value.
Yeah.
It might be $60, but you can play the heck out of this thing. So
I'd say I was going to add it to my wish list, but I already have it on my wish list. But it sounds great. It sounds great. I think I have most games on my wish list. Great. Thank you for the summary. I love it. So we are playing Viscounts of the West Kingdom, and the setting is appropriate for the game and also appropriate for our subject, a medieval court. We are members of medieval court getting ready to play Viscounts of the West Kingdom. But there's another twist, and the twist is we're going to also play the alphabet game. So everything that I say and Kevin says, when we go back and forth, the beginning of our statement has to start with the next letter of the alphabet. So the first person says something that starts with A, the next person says something that starts with B. If we get it right, you will hear you got it right bell. And if you get it wrong, you'll get the dreaded, or take too long, you'll get the dreaded clown bell of doom. Or clown horn of doom.
And the getting it wrong is not using the correct letter. Is that right?
That's right. Or taking too long.
Okay.
Which
and
might
have you prepped any? Because I've
not. Except for maybe an A.
Written down phrases.
Yeah,
I've got an idea for A as well. Well, you gotta figure out who starts.
I know. Okay, you know what? Let's do rock, paper, scissors. You want to do rock, paper, scissors? Okay, here we go. One, two, three. Oh, we both got scissors. Okay, we're going to try again.
Okay, we start at the same time. Okay, right, here we go.
One, two, three, go. Oh.
You got
scissors,
it.
cut,
all right,
paper.
so
okay.
you can pick.
I'm going to go. Okay. How about I will let you go first as the A, and then when we're done, we'll applaud, and that will get our episode officially started. Sound good?
Yes, and we should set it in Spain. So I'm going to be I'm going to be a princess.
Okay.
So what's a good?
Maria.
Katerina? Is that a good Spanish?
Sure.
No, that sounds Russian.
Katerina.
It's a good Spanish. It's a good
Maria.
Isabel.
Isabel. That sounds good.
I'm going to be Lady Isabel.
And I'm going to be the jester.
Doña Isabel.
Doña Isabel.
Okay.
I'll be the jester, Jeff. You ready?
Who's from Germany?
Here we go.
Here
we go. You ready? All right, here we go.
Already laughing.
All right,
okay.
So you're starting as the princess Doña Isabel with the letter A, getting ready to play Viscounts of West Kingdom in the royal court in medieval Spain. What could go wrong? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Begin.
Alas, my cards are empty. I shall draw. Jeff, draw my card for me.
But, princess, I don't know how to play the game. I'm so sorry. Can you please explain it to me?
Well, I said, well. Oh, yeah, that didn't get. Could you grasp the manual there and check on the iconography on the back, and you will see that the deck we draw from is here.
Don't just order me around like your common servant, princess. We've been lifelong friends. Could you at least use the word please?
Even ladyships such as I must recognize our equals. Double points. Jeffrey, of course. I shall call you Lord Jeffrey. I was finishing my dialogue.
Sorry. Fine. I'll take it. Okay, let me get the manuscript for you. Here you go, princess. Please explain to me now what I should do next in the game.
Garfield Games, publication 306, Página 5. After growing... And side note here, I have to admit I haven't played Viscounts in like 5 months. And my RAM memory storage is pretty low at this age. So I may mess some of this up. But anyway, I shall draw and place a card here on my tableau conveyor belt, so you shall do the same. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
How do I know where to place it?
In order here.
Just as I thought. Thank you, Princess. Now what?
Keep it up, Jeffrey. Keep it up. Well done, my lad.
Love you, Princess. Love you. You're the best game teacher ever.
Man, sort of, Jeffrey. Why do we play these games when we could play the real game? The game of love.
Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Nay, nay, Princess. Our love could never be. You are a noble princess, and as we've established earlier in our conversation, I am but a lowly jester. Even if you give me the name Lord, it cannot hold weight beyond the royal court.
Ole, says Doña Isabel. She grasps a red piece of fabric and shakes it towards him like a, what do you call it? Bullfight. Yeah. Like Ernest Hemingway.
Pause here. Pause, time out. What does this have to do with the game, please?
Quietus.
I can't think.
I think that's the Latin accusative of quiet, but I don't actually know that. Just pretending.
Really? We're talking Latin now? Come on, Princess. You know I'm not educated in the finer languages of the court. I am merely a lowly jester,
Slide
Jeff.
beside me here, Jeffrey, and tell me some court gossip.
Timothy, the court carpenter, says that Bruce, the court butcher, has been seen recently down town purchasing frozen yogurt.
Umbrella? Did you say umbrella?
Verily, Princess, I don't know why you're talking about an umbrella. Could we get back to the game, please? I don't understand it.
Waste. What a waste of a fine young strapping man, Jeffrey. Fine.
Xylophone is what I wish I could play right now to entertain you, my dearest Princess.
Yon light breaks. I am in Shakespeare's land.
0 points, I fear, is what I will get at the end of this game.
Hey. I have to admit, I didn't want to play that before we played it, but I'm glad we did. That was pretty funny.
Good. You did. That was great. Good job, Kevin. Thank you. And thank you to our listeners for slogging through that.
Let's face it, we all deserve a big ol' hand.
Sorry.
Kevin, we did try the other time. We tried an AI skit, and just leave it to AI to not be as good as we thought it would be.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool, but
yeah. We'd love to hear, actually, whether we have skits and what kind of skits to have is something Kevin and I talk about a lot. Sidebar, for our listeners, if you have any feelings about that, whether you like the skits or don't like them, whether you'd like to suggest something else, please let us know. We'd love to hear. You can give us feedback in different ways that we'll talk about them at the end, but we'd love to hear from you on that.
Right.
Or
and
on anything.
I do try to do chapter markers, so if your podcast player or YouTube supports it, you can just skip to right here. Oh, y'all missed the best part.
That episode, that skit, Kevin, that skit was it was a skit.
It was a skit.
Well, so Kevin, today we're doing a historical dive. We're talking about King Alfonso X's Book of Games, or the Libro de los Juegos. I think would be said
Sounds right to me.
In Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but yeah.
I think you just did, Daniel.
Well, that's kind of you. It was an approximation of it. It was
right.
It was a parrot mimicking what it's heard before. But thank you, thank you. And Alfonso X was the king of what is now much of modern Spain. in the years 1252 to 1284, and near the end of his reign in 1283, he had translated this, or produced. I guess it's some question about how much is translated, how much is actually new.
Yeah, definitely some of it's translation.
Yeah. This book called the Book of Games. Yeah, and so some of it was translated from Arabic. And I should say, I mean, neither Kevin nor I are experts on this, so don't take anything as definitive, but we've done some reading and looking into it as well. But so some of it was translated from the Arabic. Is that your understanding too, Kevin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is about chess, which I think started in India. Is that correct?
That sounds right to me.
I think it started in India, and then it got to the West, maybe through Arabs and Muslims.
Yeah.
And I even wondered if Spain, which at one point was conquered by the Moors, which are a Muslim group from
Northern
Africa, right?
Yeah.
Morocco, Africa
Northern
area.
Africa, yeah.
And I wondered if that at least is part of how chess gets to the West, is through that conquest and that mixing of cultures that came about.
Yeah, that might be.
And there's definitely a common culture in Spain between Christians, Muslims, and Jews who are all cohabitating, and at times peacefully, under Muslim rule in Spain. And so there's a similar architecture and art and style.
Yeah. That's one of the things I understand is, I didn't mean to talk over you, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I want you to.
Yeah, no, one of the things I understand was kind of characteristic and especially interesting about King Alfonso X, that he had this very ecumenical court, that there were Muslim scholars and Christian scholars and Jewish scholars, and that this certainly was not the only book of knowledge that was produced under him. There were books on various other subjects as well. I brought up the fact that just it's translated from Arabic because it reminds me a little bit of what the friend of our podcast, Ali Karar, mentioned on a few episodes back when he talked about, how much kind of world knowledge was gathered together in some places in various Islamic centers.
In various times and places.
Yeah. So Kevin, you and I read an English translation of this book. It was translated by Sonia Moser-Golade. And basically, how we're going to be approaching this for our listeners, just kind of a super brief overview right now, and then we're going to kind of do some takeaways that Kevin and I have, just some responses or reactions to it. And so, so Kevin, I guess, it begins by kind of these introductory remarks, right? About like, why games, right? Why are games important? And then he tells this interesting story, right, about this, according to the book, this king in India, who had three advisors, three wise men, or